Hey, what's up guys? My name is Harper Thompson with Team Prodigy and Team Celestial, and today I'm going to be showing you what's in my bag. So first of all, I'm carrying the Prodigy Apex XL. It's our flagship bag and I really like it. One, I feel like it looks really good compared to a lot of bags on the market, which some people might not care about, but I really like the way it looks on the course. They've got a lot of really good colors and it's also really lightweight and comfortable. As far as the discs I'm carrying, so we'll start off with the putter pocket. First is a 500 PA5. I use this for my understable putter shots and a lot of my long jump putt approaches. The PA5 is incredibly glidey and a little bit on the understable side, so it's really versatile for any shot where I need a hyzer flip or, like I said, kind of a long spinny approach. One of my favorite discs I carry. Next for my throwing putters is a Duraflex P Model US. Don't let the name deceive you. These are not understable out of the box. They start out actually on the overstable side, and then once they break in, they stay dead straight for a very long time. This one has gotten to that kind of dead straight flying, so I throw this for my really straight putter drives and approach shots. Really good and torque resistant for a putter. As far as my putting putters, I putt with 300 PA3s. I really like the way they feel in my hand. The 300 plastic is not too firm and not too soft, and I've kind of always gravitated towards the PA3. The little bit of a bead is something I really like, and it's just kind of a perfect putter in my hand. Very neutral, a little bit overstable, and not a ton of glide. Last up for my throwing putters is this 400 PA1. This one has been in the bag for 5 years now, and it is still very overstable for being a really old putter. So I'll use this for a lot of shots where if I need a putter to fly on a flex line or if I need to throw it flat and have it fade, this is a very dependable overstable putter. As far as my approach discs, I've got a 500 A2, which is a meat hook of an approach disc, really useful for any sort of utility approach shots, flex forehands, flex backhands. Super overstable, super dependable, throw this a lot. Next up, I've got a 750 A3. It's really beat in, really usable. I throw it for a lot of straighter shots with my approaches. I throw it forehand and backhand alike. Really good disc. I'd say I lean on the most for forehands. Pushes really straight and then fades right at the end. I can get this really far for a forehand too. I can pretty much just use it for anything within 320 feet. I feel really confident with this disc. I have two mid-ranges in the bag. The more overstable one is this 500 Archive. I feel like this is a really underrated disc in our lineup. Brand new, the Archive is very overstable. It's like what you would expect an M1 to be in our lineup. It goes really straight and then kind of has that dumping hyzer. But once they break in, they keep that same torque resistance and resistance to turn out of the box, but they kind of have more of a pushing fade as opposed to a meat hook at the end. I'll throw this for a lot of my just pushing mid-range shots that have a little bit of fade. I'd say it's one of the more predictable mid-ranges in our lineup. And then next is this old 400S M3. This one has a really good build to it, slightly domey, just feels really good in the hand, kind of this money gray plastic that Prodigy has been known for. This one's more on the understable side, so I'll throw this on hyzer flips, dead straight shots. This comes out a lot in the woods. For my fairway drivers, I've got a few more. This is the OG H1, super overstable. It's a kind of like a utility disc, but I'm actually get a lot of use out of this. It's very overstable, so I'll throw it for backhands, forehands, a little bit of dome, but I feel really confident with this disc in my hand, maybe more so than any other disc in my bag. just because I know where it's going to go. It's not too overstable to where I can barely throw it. It's just that nice, dependable, overstable fairway driver that everyone needs. Next is a 500 FX2, which is kind of a step down from that H1. This one's a little bit beat in, and the FX2 is perfect for flex shots where you want to get a little bit more distance than, say, an H1. I'll throw this for a lot of flex shots and hyzers within 400 feet. Very dependable. To me, it feels really good in my hand. I really like it for forehands as well. Very dependable fairway driver. Next up is one of my favorite discs in the bag. It's a 400 FX4. I'll rave about this disc all the time. It is just the straightest fairway driver you can get. I can rip on this thing. It'll go 410 feet on a rope and then have a little bit of fade at the end. Just super controllable and goes super far for a fairway driver. Just a really fun disc to throw, and usually when I'm recommending Prodigy discs to people who are new to the lineup, I'll recommend an FX4. Next one is relatively new to the bag. It is a 400 F3. This is kind of an old money run. This one feels amazing in the hand and has a really good flight too. So I was looking for something that was slightly more understable than the FX4, and I had this sitting in my garage and it really fit the slot that I was looking for. What I can do is I can throw this on a slight hyzer and it'll pop up to flat and just go straight the whole way. I was really just looking for something where I could have that little bit of a mini hyzer flip. This is really useful in the woods, and I actually aced with it last weekend in a tournament, so this one is quickly becoming one of my favorites in the bag. Next up, I have a 500 H7. This disc is basically for rollers only, but I really do like it for that roller slot. I tend to throw rollers that are more like flat out of my hand and let the disc get to angle. So this disc makes it really easy to throw rollers. And the first time I actually ever threw an H7, I just took it to the field, didn't know what to expect, threw it flat, and ended up going 550 feet on a roller. So you can get a lot of distance and ease in the roller with this disc. And if you're a beginner, it's a really good disc to learn a hyzer flip. Definitely one of my favorites. And last but not least, we've got the distance drivers. So right here is my signature 400 D2 from last year. For some reason, these discs just came out insanely overstable. Just kind of has that perfect build to it where it is just a straight beefcake. But what's nice is it's also got a lot of dome and glide, so it's a pretty rare combination of just straight up meat hook and a lot of glide. Very useful disc. The next step down from that is a Bowling Green D3. This one's a little bit beat in. Super good disc. I threw this a ton at the Music City Open. It's kind of like that Halo Destroyer slot, just like a dependable, stable driver where you'll put on a little bit of anhyzer, it'll fight back the whole way. You can pretty much count on it in any wind, but is also very usable. Next is a 400 SD1. It's kind of like a glidier, straighter version of the Bowling Green D3. I can throw this really flat, it'll just kind of hold the whole way and then fight out. You can get a lot of distance on this one, and it's only 166, so it's really easy to get it up to speed. Next is the 500 Falcor. It's one of our best, newish drivers. It's very straight for a distance driver, and it pushes a long way. Tons of glide. I'll throw it forehand and backhand. It's just very useful for a very straight, long-range distance driver. And the last disc I have is a pretty beat-in 400 GD2. It's got a nice pop top to it. It's a pretty understable D2, and so I'll use it for hyzer flip backhands, kind of glidey hyzer flip forehands. If I'm going for max distance, it's going to be with this disc, but it's the most understable of my distance drivers and can be used in a lot of different ways. So that is all the discs I'm carrying this year. I'm feeling really confident in my lineup. If you want to support the tour, I have my 300 fractal A3s that just came out and a few other exciting things coming up. Thanks so much for watching, and throw a Prodigy.